Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Quick midday update here. So we have a bit of a reaction. Bitcoin, again, it really reacted to the fib level here, the 61.8 retracement. Previous video was somewhere up here around 23,080. We didn't really see any kind of reversal signal at the time. I highlighted it would be quite likely to continue the trend, because we just hadn't seen any reversal signal, and it sort of looked a bit like a triangle. Now a triangle eventually actually broke to the downside, and it's now trying to put a small rally in here. But this is really on the micro level. Really nothing happened on the looking at the bigger picture. But certainly, we reacted to one of the fib levels. So always pay attention to these fib levels. That's what they are there for, especially the golden ratio. Here the 61.8 retracement. Now, this is the Coinbase chart highlighted in the previous video that we had this weird wick down. Let's actually see if on Binance we made a lower low. I think we did, because I don't trust this wick on Coinbase. So on Binance we actually did make a lower low. So we made that lower low. Maybe the low is in for Bitcoin. Currently it's way too early to say that. In fact, we're not doing anything exciting yet. But always keep an open mind that, in these yellow boxes, in this case yellow, because it's not necessarily the highest probability setup, but certainly a decent reward to risk and a possible turning point somewhere here. So keep an open mind that whenever, especially when we hit the fib levels, that's when you need to pay attention. And often you just get a bounce. And for example, if you go long at one of these fib levels and it really gets the bounce, then you can just move up your stop loss quickly and, take the risk out, right? But eventually, we don't really have a strong reversal signal yet. I think the first good signal would occur if we break above here the 23,340 level, those highs here from yesterday. Those we had this. Let me just go to the 50-minute chart. I think we see it a little bit better. Yeah, it's probably this swing high here. This is the most relevant one in my opinion here, 23,350. But for now, we're not doing it. At the moment, we're putting a small rally. I can't even call it a rally. It's just more of a sideways structure. But it looks like a corrective one at the moment, at least, to the upside. So until we see a strong reversal here, we can't really talk about it. You can extend that trend line. I don't know. It's micro counting. But we talked in the previous video about strong confluence down there. Yeah. Strong confluence down here around the 78.6 fib level, maybe even a little bit higher due to the ascending trend line that we have and a few Fibonacci targets. But that doesn't mean we have to get there. It just means that if we get there, there will be probably a lot of support and strong support. We have here on the micro level enough waves down to count it as complete, but these can always extend out further. And I don't have a very confident 5-wave structure to the downside yet. So it is enough to say the low could be in. We've got 5 waves on the micro level in this C wave, yes, but I haven't seen enough. Okay, so just be aware this can turn around at an instant, at any time. But if you ask me what my preference would be at the moment, I would say we have a good chance to drop even below the 61.8 retracement here, which means below 22,840. But that's really only because I'm giving the trend currently preference, which is the short-term trend, which is still down. And I think we may retest this channel support here, or this trend line support. If you connect the waves 2 and 4 together, you get this trend line. But obviously we only have 2 touch points, but that's how you can do it as per Elliott Wave. Sometimes they do react, so we might very well test that. That's sort of again around the 22,000, 450 level roughly, depending on when we get there. But let's see. Situation unchanged to the previous video. If you watched the previous one, you're very much up to date. So from the yellow support area here, we could get a turnaround if this is the correct count. Bear in mind there are different scenarios. And just because this is my primary at the moment, it doesn't need to be the one that works. As I often say, don't trade the primary count. There is always more than one scenario, at least 2, sometimes 3. And if you have more than 2 or 3, then probabilities get a bit unclear. It's just what the market does. And if you have 2 scenarios, just be aware of the pivot points. If you only trade the primary view, then I think you are less successful, because if you trade the primary and insist that the primary always has to work, then often enough it doesn't work, because often enough the less probable count will work out, and only the market in the end decides that. So let's see. This is certainly one of the areas from where you have a decent reward to risk if the setup works out. But bear in mind, at the moment there is no strong reversal signal to the upside yet. Here we talk about, if anybody entered here a long position, you talk about target somewhere up there. Stop loss you could set somewhere below the yellow area maybe. Yeah. If we measure the target for the third wave up there, then that is the scenario where we could put an extension in if we turn around here. So I don't measure it all the way to the low there, because that wick is unreliable on Coinbase. But you talk about a target for the third wave around 29.2k, right? So you would be trading a third wave of a fifth, and in the third wave you basically could get a nearly a reward to risk ratio of 7, which is pretty decent. Okay, now that is what I understand in terms of low risk, high reward. However, the drop below the range, which happened here on Friday, certainly increases probabilities that this entire rally to the upside is over. Just be aware of that. But for now, we are holding sort of this trend line, and we're holding the support area, and looking at the micro count, the micro level. I think we might not need, we might not need another low. In the previous video, I said we'll probably get one. We did get one, not on Coinbase, but the wick is, again, just disregard the wick. On Binance, we did. Now we just need to see, do we hold the 61.8 retracement at 22,842? I would say it still doesn't really show us anything exciting at the moment, so it's probably quite likely to drop a little bit lower, and then we just need to be watching down there the support area around the 78.6 retracement, and from here we can put that extension into the upside. So that's what we need to be watching. So and that's my view about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.